Hello, Internet. Welcome to episode number 328 of the Comic Watcher Show. He's Chad, I'm Matt, and this is our show where we talk about comics. Chad, how the heck are you this week?
Um, Getting ready for the media press blitz that is this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we've already had one early announcement with Marvel announcing a new X-Men book coming out in December. Maximum X-Men by Chris Yost and Tony S. Daniel. So that's pretty major news. The plot behind it, or the synopsis, I should say, is that post Avengers Armageddon, the Avengers are all disassembled and no more, and I guess they're maybe not liked or something like that is what they're gesturing towards. And so the X-Men step up to fill the void of the world's superhero police cops. And they're going to start off by fighting an invasion from the Negative Zone and Annihilus. So it looks like X-Men versus more mainline Marvel threats is kind of your log line there.
Now I have a question. Are you following the Armageddon or whatever? Has Armageddon happened, or are they still building up to it?
They're still building up to it, although there was a big kind of a twist at the end of the second issue that came out a couple weeks ago. If you haven't read it, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but it's not just Avengers versus Red Hulk or at least it wasn't until the end of issue 2. So get ready. I don't know what Chip Zdarsky has in mind for this thing or how it's going to have such a cataclysmic impact on the Marvel Universe, but let's see what happens. Zdarsky is a great writer, and I've got a lot of faith in him, even if I don't have a lot of faith in Marvel editorial right now, although that's going to change soon. If you have missed the news, and I'm sorry, we're just kind of chatting before we get into the theme of this week's episode, but if you've noticed, we don't have a guest this week, so Chad and I get to do more talking than usual. Anyway, the Steve Wacker is going to be the new editor-in-chief at Marvel, and CB Cebulski is getting shipped off to Japan, where he can live out all of his Yoshiro Akita or whatever fake name it is he uses dreams and fantasies come true. So Wacker, of course, comes with a ton of great editorial backlog. He was 20-ish years ago, he was an editor at DC for 52. And then after that, he went to Marvel and edited some great runs like Matt Fraction and David Aja's Hawkeye run, among many other really cool things that went down that decade. So I believe he's been hiding out in the animation wing of Marvel in California for the last however many years. I could be wrong on that. Internet, correct me if I am. But he is a great choice to be editor-in-chief at Marvel. Now, the real question for me is Disney going to let him do his job? Which it remains to be seen.
And also recently announced that, just like DC did a couple years ago, Marvel's moving to California.
Yes, that's also a big one. They're going to move to Burbank. They're going to be closer to the Mouse House. Which
Spider-Man's going to have to learn how to swing between low buildings or something.
Right. It's going to be just like when the commuter cometh.
There'll be more of a shooting pole or something. I don't know.
Yeah. He'll be riding on the top of a bus or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's the end of an era. It's the end of a 80-plus year era of Marvel being located in New York. So it's bittersweet, but also kind of overdue since, Disney has owned Marvel since 2012. And it just kind of makes strategic sense for them to be closer together for, let me charitably call it IP farming reason. Anyway.
Well, I don't think DC's really made any major announcements yet.
The Clayface trailer dropped yesterday. It was really cool body horror stuff that's coming up in October. I've got my fingers crossed that it's going to be worth your while to check out. And I don't know, Chad, did you watch the Clayface trailer?
Briefly, I also read skimmed the article by our new contributor.
Yes, our new contributor, Carolina de la Roche, Roque. Yes, she's been knocking it out of the park for us there on the site with a lot of media-related articles of the last couple of days. So we love, but free plug, we love our writers, even though we don't pay them at all. Over at Comic Watch,
we also love our old writers. We don't play favorites.
We don't play favorites. That's right. But you can join us and share the wealth and share the love of comics with your fellow man and the rest of the internet, if you can call it your fellow man at that point. And join us and join our team. So yeah, taking applications. But anyway, this week and starting Friday, being announced Friday, July 24th, are this year's Eisner Awards at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a pretty stacked deck this year, especially if your name is DC. And that shouldn't surprise anybody because DC has had just a crazy, crazy good year.
The Absolute universe has been kicking ass and taking names.
It has, but beyond just that, it feels as if editorial at DC is listening to fans and listening to what they want, and hey, novel idea, giving it to them.
Yeah, especially with the next level stuff.
Yeah, if you're not reading Deathstroke, oh my God, are you missing out?
Or Firestorm.
Fury of Firestorm by Jeff Lemire and Roberto De La Torre, I believe it is. Yeah.
Which I'm sad is only going to be a 6-issue run, but...
Well, now it's going to be 8 or 9 issues, according to Lemire. He hasn't decided yet.
Oh, okay.
Fingers crossed for an ongoing.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as he has a story to tell. I think he's hopping off of JSA, though.
I believe I read that somewhere that, he's exiting JSA after this current Spectre story that he's writing. And, I mean, that's sad, but JSA hasn't felt like the best for his needs or for his skills as a writer. It's been fine, but as compared to some of his other work, like Fury of Firestorm, it's good, but not great.
Yeah.
So, I hopefully somebody else really talented picks up the reins from there.
Definitely.
All right.
It's nice to see those the Golden Age characters and the newer heroes. Listen,
I'm a huge JSA fan going back to the Jeff Johns run in the 2000s. And I got to tell you, I'm here for anything DC wants to do JSA related.
Yep.
So let's keep the JSA coming, guys. Okay, so Eisners, like I said, they're going to be announced tomorrow night. So tomorrow being Friday the 24th, we will have a version of this interview on our discussion, I should say, on Comic Watch tomorrow. If you want to check it out, or if you want to tell your friends to check it out. But for tonight, we are in full prognostication mode, and we're going to look at some of the major categories and give it our best guess as to who's going to come out on top. So without further ado, let's start with best one-shot / single issue. Chad?
Okay, I found it. I just copied it off of what I posted. So,
dude, I've just got a tab open right now connected to the Comic-Con website, so I understand. I'm cheating too. But best one-shot / single issue. You've got some stunningly great candidates. Absolute Batman 2025 Annual #1 by Daniel Warren Johnson, James Herron, and Meredith McLaren. Absolute Martian Manhunter #1 by Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. Assorted Crisis Events, which Chad loves. #4 by Dennis Camp and Eric Zawadzki. Coin Op #10 Wet Cement, which I am absolutely not familiar with at all, Chad. Ice Cream Man #43 by Maxwell Prince and others, W. Maxwell Prince. And then Something is Killing the Children, a monster hunter walks into a bar #1 by James Tynan IV and Werther Deladera. That's a stacked category.
Yes, that's my pick.
So I got to say, like, I feel like Absolute Batman 2025 Annual #1 is the sentimental pick because it's Batman kicking the crap out of neo-Nazis, and that's amazing. And Daniel Warren Johnson is an amazing creator and this generation's Walt Simonson. But I'm kind of going to give my nod to Absolute Martian Manhunter #1. I mean, what do you think?
I like it. Yeah, it's hard because I love assorted crisis events. Ice Cream Man #43, the one-page horror stories where they had a bunch of people contribute the one-page stories was awesome. I don't know. So you're going
prognosticating. You have to give it a guess.
All right, I am going to go with I'll say assorted crisis events, just so we can split the Dennis Camp vote.
Absolutely right. And look, Dennis Camp has had a ridiculously good year. Outside of Scott Snyder, who was an already established talent, I don't think anybody's had a better year than Dennis Camp. And that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. He wrote Absolute Martian Manhunter. He wrote Assorted Crisis Events, The Ultimate Endgame, and Ultimates.
Yeah.
I mean, what wasn't he writing?
Well, I mean, he was writing a lot of the most talked about books of 2025, 2026, or early 2026. So can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Best continuing series. We got Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Department of Truth from Image by James Tynion and Martin Simmons, FML by Kelly Sue DeConnick and David Lopez, The Power Fantasy, and this one surprised the heck out of me because Marvel typically doesn't crack these big categories, but Storm from Marvel.
Yeah, I was I don't know. I'm sure it's a good book, but it just seems like a weird nominee.
Well, it does, and I mean, it wasn't. Marvel didn't do a very good job of supporting that book. After 5 issues, they changed it to Storm or start over with a new #1, called it Storm Earth's Mightiest Mutant or something like that.
It was after the Revelation. Yeah.
Then it gets canceled. But I mean, did we all sleep on a really good book? Apparently so, according to the Comic-Con judges. So, hey, I mean, dark horse candidate, I guess. Not obviously, but
the Marvel dark horse.
That's right. Damn you! I am totally, however, going with Absolute Wonder Woman on this category because it is my favorite DC book. But not only that, but Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman and the assorted fill-in guest artists are just crafting an amazing comic, or have crafted an amazing comic.
I agree, and that would be my pick too, even though I've heard good things about the Power Fantasy.
The Power Fantasy is crazy smart. My problem with it is I dropped it after like 13 or 14 issues because I could not keep up with who was who and why anything was particularly going on, which says more about me as a reader than it does the quality of the book. So I feel like it's one that's maybe a little better in trade than on a monthly basis. But it is an exceptional comic.
I mean, I would say that there's also probably a good chance that it's Absolute Batman, but I agree. Of the 2 Absolute series that are nominated, I think Wonder Woman is probably the one that stands out the most.
Absolute Batman could get it just due to the popularity vote. I get it. I'm not trying to be mad. I love that comic. I love both of the Absolute books that are in this category, but I don't know. Like, as awesome as Nick Dragotta is as an artist on that comic, Hayden Sherman on Absolute Wonder Woman is doing things I've never seen before in 30 plus years of reading comics. That does something.
So I think we both agree that are down for absolute Wonder Woman.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. All right, best limited series. Now, this one's interesting. Okay, so we've got Absolute Martian Manhunter, of course, by Dennis Camp and Javier Rodriguez. Then from IDW, we've got Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees the Rite of Spring by Patrick Horvath. Bronze Faces, which from Boom, which I'm unfamiliar with. Crownsville, which again, it's by Rodney Barnes, who's pretty cool. And that's from Oni. Everything Dead and Dying from Image by Tate Bromball and Jacob Phillips, which I didn't read it, but it was that's a pretty stout creative team. And then Out of Alcatraz by Christopher Cantwell and Tyler Crook. I fully think that Absolute Martian Manhunter should run away with this category.
I think so too. I mean, not just because the others I haven't read.
True.
But I know there's a big following for Beneath the Trees.
There is. And that's not to take anything away from Patrick Horvath, because from what I understand, Beneath the Trees has been a pretty awesome series. But
yes, I started reading it. It's kind of weird.
Okay, isn't it about like a serial killing Pooh Bear or something like that?
Yeah, I started reading it after the main character from Beneath the Trees showed up in the KO crossover.
Oh, that's right. What about that? But Martian Manhunter and this is largely due to Javier Rodriguez's just absolutely stellar art and otherworldly coloring. I think Martian Manhunter is the one to beat.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, again, not having read the other ones yet.
Right.
I have time to read all of them.
No, me neither. I mean, who would have time unless you're on the nominating committee? But seriously, like it's as with any award show, like there's a certain level of the Eisners that's a popularity contest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for Bronze Faces or Crownsville to compete against a known quantity like Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. This could be the year that Dennis Camp takes home an embarrassing amount of Eisners.
Yeah, you never know. He could.
No, never know.
So he took that extra suitcase.
Right? All that hardware. So, okay. Best new series. This is exciting stuff because, again, there's some stuff in here that I simply would not have guessed. I'll start with Black Cat by G. Willow Wilson and Gleb Melnikov over at Marvel.
Yeah.
Again, Marvel doesn't typically get a lot of Eisner love for one reason or another. And I had actually heard that Black Cat was supposed to have gotten canceled at issue 10 because Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it's still going and going strong, and now it is up for an Eisner. So go G. Willow Wilson and Gleb Melnikov.
So it's definitely going to be win and be canceled. Got it.
Right? Listen, it's absurd the way these things go at Marvel right now. I can't predict anything they are or aren't going to do.
I'm just surprised. I just haven't heard a lot of buzz around Black Cat.
I haven't either. Other than those awesome Adam Hughes covers,
mm-hmm.
which are like soft cheesecake, but that's what Adam Hughes does best. Okay, the other contestants in this category: Assorted Crisis Events from Image, yay! Batman Volume 4 from DC, like okay, it's cool, but just because you started Batman over with a new #1, does it really count as a new series? Come on. That's kind of BS in my mind.
It's a new volume. Putting Matt down for Batman.
I like the book. Don't get me wrong, and I love Matt Fraction and I love Jorge Jimenez on art. I just have a qualm with renumbering, and that's partially because it's excessive. It's partially because I'm old. It's just grumble. Okay, Exquisite Corpses from James Tynion and Michael Walsh and a host of others, and by Image. Here's one that surprised me: was Ghost Pepper from Image and Skybound. I haven't heard a word about this book other than when I upload it once a month to our drive for people to not review on the site. It's interesting to me, though, that this creator Ludo, I don't know if it's pronounced Lullaby or Lullaby, but I'm going to go with Lullaby because I'm American, and that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a really interesting book, but I don't know the first thing about it. So we'll just find out. And then we got one called Temporal by Stephanie Williams and somebody named Isaiah Fulmore from Mad Cave, which I frankly didn't even realize Mad Cave did ongoing series. Kudos to them. I just thought they were nothing but miniseries. But Chad, what's your guess on this one? Because I could go a couple different ways.
I'm going to go with the one that I've enjoyed the most, Assorted Crisis Events. I mean, Dennis Camp is just doing so much, with the format and the artist Eric Zilblowski, and Jordi Belair with the color work. I mean, the way they just, the things structure and the flows and the different, the larger themes that they're playing with.
Well, and not only that, and I say that having only read the first issue, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, but there is no other book. There is no other book on the shelf right now like Assorted Crisis Events.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes.
And, even though it's kind of a bunch of one-shot stories, they seem to, there is a unifying character that's, then it can be spotted. It's kind of like the Where's Waldo character.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. They're like the time travel. I don't know if he's called the time traveler, but he's like a old man who's like, can travel. You see him in every story somewhere.
Oh, so. Interesting. I did not know that. Okay. Well, that's both of us down for Assorted Crisis Events then. So I'm cool with that. Okay, let's skip ahead past the young readers and teens publications and the humor publications because...
Although the best publication for kids, I really think Raina Telgemeier and Scott McCloud will win. The Cartoonist Club.
Oh, Scott McCloud did this. Okay, yes. If Scott McCloud's name is attached to it, it's going to win. If you don't know Scott McCloud and you read comics, shame on you, because you should be everybody that reads comics should read Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. This year is actually, I believe, the 40th anniversary of Understanding Comics. Now that I think about it, came out in '86. So,
and he's the nicest guy when you meet him. He was.
He looks like a super nice little nerd.
2 years ago at the New York Comic Con after party for Scholastic, he was there, and they were talking about they were promoting this book, and so both of them.
Well, and all hail Scott McCloud, but at the same time, Raina Telgemeier is no slouch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm down. I'm down with that. Thank you for calling me out on that because I completely blew past this category. Okay. We got Best Publication for Teens, Best Humor Publication, Best Anthology, Best Reality, Best Work, Best Graphic Memoir. Graphic album new, graphic album reprint. Sorry, this takes me. I got to scroll here to get to the right stuff. Archival stuff, which is important. Best academic and scholarly work, also important.
I will say that the best adaptation from another medium.
Yeah.
And I got to interview both of these people. The guy who did the graphic adaptation of The Complete Angler and the Lord of the Flies graphic novel.
Oh, nice.
One of those have to win.
Okay, I'm down. Let's talk about best writer. This is an important one because comics are not just pretty pictures. Somebody has to actually write the stories. So, this is a ridiculously stacked category, especially again if your name is DC. But we got Dennis Camp for Absolute Martian Manhunter, Assorted Crisis Events, and The Ultimate. We got Scott Snyder for Everything Under the Sun. Mariko Tamaki popped up. I didn't even know she was doing anything, but she wrote something called This Place Kills Me from Abrams Fanfare, which is a publisher I'm unfamiliar with. But yeah, good on her. Kelly Thompson for Absolute Wonder Woman, Jeff the Landshark, and Birds of Prey. And then James Tynion the Fourth for again, Everything Under the Sun. And then
hey, that's one of the books,
right? Yeah, dude is nothing if not busy. But anyway, Steph Williams for Temporal over there at Mad Cave, which we talked about. Roots of Madness from Ignition Press, and get this, Street Sharks at IDW. I can't imagine a lot of pathos happening with Street Sharks, but there we have it.
There's some mean streets.
Yes. Absolutely. I think it's going to come down. I could go anywhere between Dennis Camp, Scott Snyder, or Kelly Thompson, but I can't tell you which one I think is going to.
I was just kind of looking to see who has the widest, breadth of material, and that didn't help.
No, not at all.
So you're going with Kelly Thompson?
I think I'm going to go with Kelly Thompson. Sentimental favorite for Absolute Wonder Woman. And Birds of Prey was pretty kick-ass.
It was, and especially when you're following, the goat of Birds of Prey.
Absolutely. If you're following any book in Gail Simone's footsteps that she left her mark on, like Birds of Prey, good luck. But what do you think? I know you're probably in this camp, right?
I'm just to be different, and so we don't end up with a tie. I'm going to say Dennis Camp because, again, I really didn't read the Ultimates or Ultimate Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
I try not. I don't dabble too much in Marvel aside from the one shots or the short limited series that don't require a lot of investment. So, but I'm going to say Dennis Camp because Absolute Martian Manhunter and the sort of Crisis Events just in the.
See, I can see that happening. So while I'm leaning into Kelly Thompson just as the sentimental favorite, I mean, if Dennis Camp or frankly Scott Snyder won, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're rooting for all of them.
Williams because she's a great writer, but I don't think Street Sharks is going to get her across the finish line.
It might be the one that kind of tips them.
Dude, you never know.
I'm going to have to check it out now just so I'm not making fun of a book that's awesome. Of course, I'm a little too old to. Because Street Sharks used to be a cartoon, right? I'm a little too old for that.
It was a Ninja Turtles ripoff from the late 80s, I want to say the early 90s, after kind of towards the peak of TMNT saturation in the cultural zeitgeist. You got stuff like Street Sharks that was out there trying its damnedest to ride that wave.
Mm. Okay. Well, I've heard of it. I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. Beyond that, I know nothing. Beyond that, I know it exists.
Maybe we need to do an episode where you and I read Street Sharks and then talk about it.
Right. We could do that. I imagine we've got some Street Sharks on the drive somewhere. So
I'm sure we can find some.
We can find it somewhere. I also found out randomly, like I used to work part-time at my local comic book store, and I randomly found out that Archie Comics did a Street Sharks miniseries, 3 issues or so in the early 90s to kind of capitalize on that and that IP. And they've actually got a little bit of value to them. They're like $30, $35, $40 comics. Who knew?
Now you slab those bad boys and
slab those bad boys. Absolutely. Okay, we've got best writer artist. I know who I think will win this, but we shall see because I've been notoriously wrong throughout my history of prognosticating the Eisners. We've got Junie Ba for The Boy Wonder over at DC and some other cool stuff like Monkey Meat, the Summer Batch from Image. Jamal Campbell for DC. Jesse Lonergan for Drome from 23rd Street Books. Chang Xing, who I'm sadly unfamiliar with, for Yan from Titan Manga. Linnea Sterte, A Garden of Spheres. And Kazumi Yamashita, Land, Volume 1 from Yin Press, which several of these publishers I'm unfamiliar with because I don't do manga. But I'm saying it's probably going to be Jamal Campbell for Zitsuna.
Oh, I was going to go with Junie Ba.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Junie Ba is pretty cool. Don't get me wrong.
I really enjoyed his Boy Wonder.
Okay. I thought it looked interesting, but said to myself I would wait for the trade, and have yet to pick said trade up. So Chad is saying Junie Ba. I'm saying Jamal Campbell. Man, I don't know. Jamal Campbell and Zatanna is one of those next level books.
It is a next level book.
Yeah. But,
I mean, I've heard some stuff about Jesse Lonergan, Drone, and I know. I think we didn't go to the after party for 23rd Street Books, but I'm sure had I gone, I would have gotten a copy. But
right on. You and your after parties at New York Comic Con, I swear.
You got a hobnob.
Got to hobnob. Spread the good word of Comic Watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Best penciler and inker. You got Elsa Charretier. I probably just butchered that name. For The City Beneath Her Feet over at Distillery. Sean Phillips for Giant Size Criminal #1 and The Knives, a criminal book. Javier Rodriguez for Absolute Martian Manhunter. Chris Samney for Batman and Robin Year One, which whoop whoop. If you didn't read that comic, you missed out on one of the best Batman stories of that year.
But you can still read it because it still exists.
And you could just buy the trade. Or get it probably on DC Unlimited too. But come on, support your local comic shop and buy the trade. Hayden Sherman for Absolute Wonder Woman and Batman Dark Patterns, which was like the other major Batman book that was supposed to be really super amazingly awesome. And then Eric Zawadzki for Assorted Crisis Events. I know who I want to win.
You probably want. I'm going to say you want Chris Samney to win.
I honestly, like this entire category, if anybody won, I would be super happy because they're so talented. I think it's going to go to Hayden Sherman, but it could also just as easily go to Javier Rodriguez for Absolute Martian Manhunter. And I lean towards Hayden Sherman simply because of the sheer amount of hype on Absolute Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I think I don't know, like Chris Somney. I mean, they also just are releasing a second installment to the Mark Waid, Chris Somney, Batman and Robin. So
Absolutely, I think it. When does it start next year, or does it start late this year?
I think late this year.
Yeah, year one, part 2.
Yeah, I think
like that.
I think it starts in September.
Awesome. Well, I'll be buying that trade as well eventually in the year of our Lord 2028. God, Chris Samney's such a talent, though.
So you are going with Hayden Sherman.
I'm going with Hayden Sherman. Who'd you say you're going with?
As much as I'd like to go with Eric Sobczynski, I'll go with Javier Rodriguez.
Okay. We're gonna split it on this one. Split the goods.
Okay.
Okay. Best painter / multimedia artist. This is interesting. I'm kind of just going to go through this one quickly, but Teddy Christensen, who frankly I didn't know was still doing painted stuff, like at all anymore, but it's for the Black Hammer Spiral City one shot or miniseries. Was it you do Black Hammer, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's Jeff Lemire's LA or JLA.
Gotcha. Okay. Kathy Malkasian, Shadows of the Sea from Fantagraphics. Q, Slices of Life, a comic montage from Bull. Wow, that's a mouthful. Bolgelhan Press. Martin Simmons for Department of Truth. Micah Song for Night Chef, an epic tale of friendship with a side of deliciousness from Random House. Or Linnea Sterte, a Garden of Spheres from Pew. I'm just going to go. I am not familiar with several of these, although Teddy Christensen is one of those artists that seems like he's been around forever. I didn't realize was still doing comics. He did a bunch of stuff for Vertigo back in the 90s and Vertigo adjacent type stuff. But other than that, like, I kind of thought he'd fallen off and was doing other things now. But I'm going to go with Martin Simmons for Department of Truth because that dude is just next level.
That's who I was going to pick too.
Yeah.
So.
And I have a bone to pick in general with James Tynion over Department of Truth because it feels like the damn comic's not going anywhere. But at the same time, damn, does it look good. It is a pretty-ass comic. Okay. Let's see. Best cover artist, Juni Ba, Nick Dragotta, Francisco Francavilla, who is always awesome. Matthias Manhanini, Javier Rodriguez, or Hayden Sherman. I could say I think I'm gonna, since it's cover art, I'm probably gonna go with Javier Rodriguez. I mean, don't you agree?
One second.
Okay, no worries. I gotta let one of my dogs back in anyway because he's being ornery. He likes to beat on the glass of the back door when I don't let him in. Come on, buddy. Good boy.
That works a whole lot. That works a whole lot better when we have a guest.
Oh, it happens. I can't just generally can't just talk to myself, although I'm decent enough. But
so you were going with who?
Javier Rodriguez.
Okay. I think Nick Dragotta has the absolute Batman thing going for him. But I'm going to say Francesco Francavilla. I just really enjoy his stuff.
Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like, kind of just doing the same type of thing over and over again.
I get it.
Even though he is like one of my favorite artists, period.
Okay.
Okay, best coloring. If Javier Rodriguez does not win this category, I am going to riot. Everyone else, who got Jordi Belair for like everything under the sun. Nina Kupinda Gaillard for something called Chicken Pox, which is a young reader's book. Justin Lonergan for Drome. Matthew Lopez for Batman and Robin Year One and The Seasons over at Image. And Jose Villarrubia for a whole mess of things. But, dude, come on. The coloring on Absolute Martian Manhunter by Javier Rodriguez is perfect. There hasn't been a prettier looking book in terms of color.
I agree, but I think, just to keep things interesting, I'll go with Jordi Belair.
Oh, it's always Jordi Belair. She colors everything.
That's right. Does she even get to? Is she like chained to a desk somewhere? Do we need to
Do we need to rescue her?
Yes.
All right. Our last major category is best letterer, and I'll just take a moment to say that lettering is one of those unsung heroes of comics. It is an art form unto itself, and yeah, it's one of those things you don't notice unless it's done poorly in a lot of cases. So, that being the case, like somebody like Hassan Othman Elhau, I hope I said his last name right, that brings such a level of finesse to his work is chef's kiss. But we've also got Janice Chang, Clayton Cowles, Nate Picos, and Ben Wiki, whom I'm unfamiliar with, unfortunately.
He wrote. He did a book for Top Shelf. It's
more
way. It's about the Salem witch trials. He wrote, drew, and apparently lettered. I chatted with him at New York Comic Con last year. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome.
Guy. So you are going with Hassan.
I'm going with Hassan because the dude is so good. I'm a little upset that DT Bidakar didn't get nominated for this category, but that's life. Can't have what we want.
I'll go with Clayton Cowles.
Okay, that's a good safe choice.
Yes, playing it safe.
No, he's great.
Yeah.
He's a damn good letterer. Don't get me wrong.
Especially with everything that he's working on, that he can do such a
right. I mean, listen to everything that he's getting nominated for: Absolute Batman, Batman and Robin Year One, Birds of Prey, Black Canary, Best of the Best, Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman, and Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell. I mean, that's kind of a murderer's row of an awesome comic.
Yeah.
If you don't like Tom King. No shade at Clayton Cowles whatsoever. He's a workhorse.
I agree.
Well, that's our major categories for this year for the Eisners, and we invite you to check out on the site tomorrow when we have this particular little prognostication up on our site for you to check out, or for your friends to check out, and then of course the Eisners themselves will be tomorrow evening, Friday, July 24th,
and we'll probably have the winners for up on the site on Monday, just because
there's always a lot of Eisner news that comes out of a lot of San Diego Comic-Con news that breaks over the weekend. So
yeah.
I feel like overall, Chad, how do you feel about this group of Eisner nominees. Like, I think it's a strong class.
I wouldn't want to be Tiffany Babb or the other judges.
True
Well,
story.
I mean, they did have to read all this, so that would be cool. And they got the books for free, or hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I hope they didn't have to pay for them. My goodness.
I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how things shake out, especially in the best writer and categories like that, where it could be anybody could take it.
Right. Yeah, there's several categories of anybody could take it. Unless your name is Dennis Camp, and then you're probably gonna win. I will take a moment to notate that the Bill Finger Award for Excellence in Comic Book Writing this year is going to Martin Pascoe and Jenny Blake Isabella, formerly known as Tony Isabella. That is pretty cool that both of these Bronze Age luminaries are getting their due with the for their contributions, historical contributions to the art form. That's awesome.
Definitely.
So, but overall, yeah, it's going to be a good year at San Diego Comic-Con. Marvel's already out there making waves. I mean, they detonated the internet earlier this week with their Avengers Doomsday trailer.
Yeah, so. And then they threw me for a loop with saying that we could post our exclusives, which were what were they? Shoot, I can't remember what our exclusives were. X-Men Outback
#1.
Yep. A lot of Queen and Black kicks off this week, so
yeah,
that's going to be
It's coming up. Alex and a host of great artists, so that'll be fun. But we do this. Chad and I talk about Eisner nominations every year. We take a break from our normal interviewing motif. Do it because it's fun and because it's great that the comic industry takes time to recognize its own. And so we have a little bit of it.
And aside from the other two major industry awards would be the Harveys and the Ringos. But
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. The Eisners just always had the whole San Diego huge first major con of the season vibe, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's comics Oscars.
Yeah,
you can't ask for bigger than that.
So, but it was cool when I was going through the list, realizing that I had been able to interview, some of those people who are nominated and like the Lord of the Flies graphic novel and the Complete Angler, which I just posted a couple weeks ago. That took me a year to schedule.
Did it really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to you, sir, because you listen. Those of you listening right now, Chad is the one that makes all these interviews on this silly podcast happen. So
I have all the dirt on the creators. Then
you hear that? He's the J. Edgar Hoover of Comic Watch, minus the cross-dressing, I think. And if he does, power to him.
Yeah, coming up, I think next week. Not sure if we have one next week. We might, but I know in August we have Kat Calmia and Phil Falco from Lifeline Comics, and they're gearing up for their universes. I mean, it's a like Oz-based universe, but it sounds like they're getting ready to do their first crossover, which they're going to be kickstarting, and we'll have more of our friends from Source Point Press.
We love Source Point. They love us too because they keep handing us interview opportunities. So we must be doing something right for Dirk Manning.
Well, you should see what I have on him. No, just kidding.
I don't want to know. Don't loop me into your shenanigans, sir. Well, okay, that's it. Folks, thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting Comic Watch. You can always check us out at comic-watch.com. And until next time, get out there, do some good in the world, because my goodness, we need it. Until then, we will see you in the funny pages. Thank you and good night.